All right, we are here, and guys, I just want to let you know, if you are looking to build an organization today, be it a team, an organization, a business, today is going to be the magic that gets you over the edge, one of the key tools of building a team. That being said, I want to cover a couple things. First, you notice instead of the coaching background, we're running the Living in Huntsville. We're teaching people how to market today as well, doing some recordings, so watch for those. And yet on the team building side, Clyent, you came into my space here, and there was one particular document you saw that you were curious about. What is that?
That is the wealth chart.
Yeah, the wealth chart. And we had a fun conversation because he's like, well, that's the first time I've seen that. I had to call him out. Nope, I have emailed you that file. And obviously,
You weren't supposed to say that.
Well, I've emailed it, and well, the other thing I shouldn't say is that I should have a box to stand on, so I'm, up at client height. We have to adjust the screen for both of us. That being said, I've got mine here on the wall. We're going to talk about it, and for any of you that want it, leave it in the comment section. You want a copy of this. And this wealth chart is the one designed to get you from 0 to 250 people in your organization, your business, your team, however big you want to go with that, and to get you from 0 to 25 people that you are directly leading and coaching personally, that you brought into the company. And so let's jump into this, and I'm going to at least talk through. So I'm going to ask first, Clyent, what the heck questions do you have on this? How it's set up, why for this 0 to 250 wealth chart?
Well, let's start with why this is needed.
Okay, awesome.
So, for a lot of people, it's like, okay, it's a wealth chart. I mean, why do I need that? I know that I want to make money. I know that I want to get rich. I know that I want to do this. Why do I need that? What is that going to do for me? So what's the why?
Yeah, so let's go into the reason it's called a wealth chart is if you're building an organization, you're adding leverage, and that is truly how you get wealth. You don't do it by your own. If you're in real estate,
say that again, because a lot of people think that they're going to make it just by selling houses. That's great. You can get there. You can definitely
yes,
do well
but
with it.
Yeah, you can get there because I've been to so many real estate agent retirement parties in my life. There's nobody out there when you see their picture on the sign and you finally meet them, you think, why aren't they already in the grave? Never happened in our days, right?
Understood. Leverage is an easier way to get there.
Leverage is really the way to get there. That's why so many people start real estate companies. They start a brokerage,
right,
or they're in one of the many companies that has a model that you can grow. As some of you know, Clyent and I are at EXP, and so this is designed around it now. So why the wealth chart? With anything you're working, you need to have in front of you where you are as where you're going. And so the wealth chart does that for building your organization. My vision board on this side does that for where I want to go personally. The data tracking that I do is always in front of me on my screen, which lets me know where I am in the moment. And you've got to have that data. The wealth chart of our 5-step recruiting process is step number 2. Step 1 is identifying who you want to be in business with, and then step 2 is getting this wealth chart built. So a couple things on it, so it makes sense to you. First and foremost, this is about people. So there's a little bit of revenue and numbers information on here, yet almost all of it except one corner is all about the people and not about the dollars.
Speak about that a little bit more.
Okay.
Because a lot of times with us as agents, we do focus on the numbers, and we'll chew through some folk.
Oh yeah.
We will literally chew through some folk, and they're roadkill, and you've quote unquote made your number, but you've kind of left someone as roadkill on the road. That's not the way we want to go. So when you say it's about people, how do you cover that?
Well, even more often than leaving somebody dead on the road as roadkill, we ignore them and let them go. Oh, you're actually coming down to my level.
I might get,
right.
You're used to kind of
I'm always standing in my
day.
space. He's getting tired, working with Coach Russell doing that. You sure? You sure you're happy where you are now?
This feels good.
Look how small you are, though.
Can I
You got to get forward. Yeah, this spins up. We're going to spend a half hour working. While he's working on the chair, I'm going to talk about the wealth chart. All right, so what we have here is my goal and the 0 to 250, 0 to 25 wealth chart that we've used has 25 circles on it for the people that I am in business with. So right now, yeah. And you'll notice if they're stuck on here, I use actual labels now for mine rather than handwriting it in. If there is a label on there that's permanently on, they are in business with me and they are producing real estate. So I know that these folks are folks that I can continue to pour into and help them build their business, build their revenue, build their production.
Hey, there's a green $sign beside my name. What does that mean?
Well, these were actually all green. They fade over time from the sun to kind of that brown color. So what it means it does mean something though. This means that you to me are a recent addition in the way of production.
Okay.
So you came in recent. That's why you haven't faded out yet like all the others are on here.
I'll take that.
And then you'll see some other names on here that are on just printed on the same label maker material, yet they aren't truly attached to the board yet. Those are folks that are in my world that I know I got to keep pouring into to help get into production.
Gotcha.
And every one of these labels that you see here are people that are particularly directly recruited by me, and so I am responsible to help them with production. That's, by the way, not a company policy. That is a Russ policy that I'm responsible. I chose these folks. I invited them to be in business with me. I see every one of them as my business partner. And so that's why they're on the wealth chart. And that's why I'm looking at them every day and thinking about and looking to pour into them. And you should be doing the same. I'd love for you to take on my philosophy that we're in this together. Now, you'll notice these two over here just on little blue pieces of paper.
Yeah.
They are absolutely in my world. They are absolutely important to me in producing. I absolutely recruited them, and neither one of those two will produce real estate. They have no interest in it. They're interested in strictly building an organization.
That's fine.
And then you will see yellow Post-its look about like this size. These are people that I have talked to. I have shared the model, and they have given me commitment that they're coming, and yet they're not here yet. And so, you know, you and I have talked about that one.
Okay.
Yeah, and she's now on my list for the beginning of the year.
Okay.
I talked to her yesterday.
Okay, good.
And so I will continue to follow up and stay in these conversations. Now, down below here, you will see there are these numbers, level 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The Keller Williams profit share model and the EXP profit share model are almost identical in kind of their framework, that they are a 7-level D profit share model. The EXP does it in what's called a profit first model. If you haven't read Mike Malkowitz's book, Profit First, get it, read it. It will change the way you run your business.
Downloaded it when? Last Thursday.
It'll change the way you and your wife run your dental practice.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a game changer.
Okay.
So that being said, I still keep track of everybody else by numbers, so I know how many other folks are in this organization. So you'll see right now, I've got 145 people in the organization. I have a separate number that I'm tracking that. I have got a 13-day, 30-day count. So I'm tracking that as a measurable. For those of you working real estate production, you've heard me talk about the magic pending number and how that is truly the thermostat of how your real estate production is running. This 30-day count number is the thermostat of how your organizational growth is going.
Speak to that a little bit more.
Absolutely. So let's do it first.
Because everything goes on cycles.
No, doesn't have to.
No, I'm just saying, life. Most people's life goes on
I
cycles.
agree, and most people are on autopilot.
This is true.
Okay? And so we're not going to be that way, and instead we're going to pay attention to this cycle so we can break it and we can change.
Gotcha.
Because we see that. Let's stay in real estate for a moment. Real estate production. How many of you listening there, if you're in real estate, you've cranked, you've done great, you've had production, and so you've got your pending, and then all of a sudden you're back down to zero again. You're freaking out. You got no business. So then you get into activity and you crank it up. And then, there's this constant up and down cycle of real estate that got started. We're not going to play that game because we're going to build a business together. And so the magic pending number in real estate is the number of pendings you need at any one time to absolutely nail your goal for the year. And I can do those calculations for you, let you know what that is, and then literally you get in that whirling dervish mentality of lead generation, of prospecting, being marketing enhanced, and still working on those marketing pieces a little bit, once you get to that pending number, let's just say hypothetically your goal was 30 units for the year, your magic pending number would be 4. I already know that math in my head because I've done it for somebody else.
4 pending.
So you get up to 4 pending, and then all you do is maintain that. So I always say get an extra bonus one, get to 5. And then by all means, if it gets to 4, you get cranking. If it ever gets to 3, nothing else matters but finding another piece of business.
You're in alarm mode.
Yeah. Okay. So the same thing actually can be applied to business building an organization. There is a 30-day count magic number. So how many agents you brought on in the last 30 days. So when we set your goals together for 2023, we can back into what that 30-day count number needs to be. And then again, you crank it up to that. And then you can work on some marketing stuff. If it ever drops down, then you're back on prospecting focused. And again, this is the Russ Collio coaching model. Don Hobbs and I, you're gonna hear from Don because he's my senior partner, and he'll talk more on marketing. And I'm moving that direction, and yet I know we've got to do the prospecting first because one, that gets the now business, whether it's now growth or now production, and 2, it gets us in the mode of having the conversations that we need to have. Every one of you are paid communicators, period.
True.
Every one of you are paid in direct proportion to the number of conversations you have, and that bends or curves based on how good you get at those conversations.
And that's where that prospecting, I can really respect that. One of the cool things about this business is that, let me tell you, I remember I was watching, I think it was the Wives of Orange County or something like that.
Well, again, he should have been prospecting during that time. I'm just going to say
but I learned something from this. Is really cool. This was an agent, because we're talking about prospecting. This was an agent, and she was talking to a friend of hers, and she said, "Hey, man, I'm just, I have nothing happening right now." And then her friend said, "Well, what are you going to do about it?" And she thought for a second, and she said, "I am going to go make me some money." But here's the context. She was looking at it from a standpoint of, I can create something that does not exist.
Okay.
As real estate agents, we can literally wake up on Monday with nothing happening.
Yes.
And through systems, models, and the way that we do things, we can literally produce. We're talking about production now.
We're talking about production.
Produce something that does not now exist. And so that production is important, but you're also saying now we're kind of linking it and bridging that gap.
Yeah. I do want to tweak it slightly though.
Okay.
Because everything is energy, and energy can be neither created nor destroyed, only transmitted or transferred. And so that production that doesn't exist, I would say you're manifesting it and stepping into it. Just think about right now, if you look at your MLS report, over the last week, there's been X number of transactions. There's been, let's say, 1,000 buyers and sellers, so 2,000 total sides that have happened in the last 7 days, 10 days, whatever your market is. If you go back and look, that business still happened. Mm-hmm. Those buyers, those sellers still existed and still did work. You just didn't step in front of that. You did not get into that flow because you weren't in activity.
Because it's going to happen regardless.
Exactly.
Those things will happen whether you're there or not. They will happen. So
with or without you.
Do you want to step in or do you wish to be out?
Yeah.
So it's a real question.
And so the wealth chart keeps you into those activities if you wish to continue to build your organization and do it intentionally rather than doing it out of pain. Most people hire, build an organization,
pain, fear,
add staff.
desperation.
Yeah, that's what they get into.
Pain, fear, desperation. Okay, I'm gonna go do something. That's a really bad way of being motivated.
Oh yeah, and then they complain about the quality of the hire or the quality of the partner, and then they redo the same thing rather than getting intentional about it. So this wealth chart that we've talked about now, and again, if you want a copy of it, we'll do another video really breaking it down with visuals at a future point for you. By all means, just let us know in the comments. Give us a comment. Hey Russ, or Clyent, be fun for him to do too, send us the wealth chart because we both have a copy. It prints about 22 by 33. You get it laminated. You tell.
You can write on it. You want to write on it.
Well, and you write on it with wet erase markers, not dry erase, the old school wet erase. Okay, and that way it's easy to clean and adjust and change, which we do a lot of that on the fly. And you get it laminated, and then you tell them not to roll it. Because if they roll it, it's like this one, and it constantly is coming off at the bottom.
Yeah.
And so then it goes up on your wall in this part. Now, two other things we haven't touched really. The people that I've personally recruited, I keep track of that number, and the number of people that are in production. So I've got both of those numbers at my fingertips at all times. So that being said, let us know in the comments you want a copy. By all means, if this is helpful, let us know if you want more stuff on the business of building a business. We're happy to help that and share that with you. And last but not least, please, 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 let's get subscriptions in here so you're always up to date on things that we're doing and information we're putting out there to help you build your business like we've been doing here in Huntsville. Thanks for watching.
Take care, guys. Bye.